Good evening and welcome to the Facilities Committee meeting for April 2nd. I call this meeting to order. Mrs. Helms is on the phone, so all four of us are here. I have one change to the agenda. Under open session action, we need to add CIP. So I need a motion to approve the amended agenda.
Motion to approve as amended.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Mr. Burnett, security cameras server bids.
The pricing was received from Dell EMC in the amount of $420,594 to purchase 32 servers for elementary schools, 12 servers.
I'm hearing at all.
Oh, I need to be over there.
You want to be over here? You want to switch?
You know what? Actually, I could move down.
Then you don't have a mic.
Oh, I don't?
If you move down, you won't have a mic.
You sure?
Oh, they're portable.
Yeah, they're wireless.
There you go. Yep. Here, you move there.
I just need to be close to that.
You move there.
Where's the other microphone?
Just sit in my seat. You're fine.
I was for the phone.
The phone's
right here.
It's right there.
Yeah, I was just trying to sit over there and not mess everything up, but,
That's okay. You don't need that though.
okay. This is for,
You have to turn it on.
sorry, this is for servers for, security cameras. So pricing was received from Dell EMC in the amount of $420,594 for 32 servers for elementary, 12 servers for middle, and 12 servers for high schools. It's a total of 56 servers. Union County Public Schools has standardized on Dell servers, so bidding is not required. But we do feel that we had competitive pricing on this. The requested purchases within the remaining budgeted funds of $499,225. That's from the 2015-16 CIP. The reason for the servers is that the industry has moved on to IP cameras, as we are too. The current servers are not adequate to support the number of IP cameras we will utilize per school and the desired storage. The number of cameras that we're looking for each school, each level of schools is 24 at the elementary, 48 at the middle, 60 at the high schools, and a 21-day record cycle. So the staff request the Facilities Committee to recommend to the Board of Education the approval to purchase 56 servers from Dell EMC in the amount of $420,594. And we'll be happy to try to answer any questions.
Does anyone have any questions?
It's just off a state contract or?
This is not.
Okay.
Okay. I need a motion to recommend to the full board the approval of the purchase of 56 servers from Dell in the amount of $420,594 for tonight's agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 The next item is Porter Ridge and Weddington Track, which we have previously approved.
That's right. And that combined total proposed contract is $624,713. The issue is how the funding has come together. What we're going to be asking is that we utilize savings in different categories. We've identified $215,688 within the fiscal year 18 expansion and renovation budget category. We have a need for $289,025, which comes from other categories. So they would come from fiscal year 18 Monroe Middle School project in the amount of $90,120, and from savings in the fiscal year 18 CIP, the building systems category of $198,905. So we request that this be approved, so it's utilizing savings that's within the category, But those funds that are coming from outside that category do need to go to the Board of County Commissioners. And after the board approves it, we will be requesting to be on that agenda.
Okay, just to be clear for a second, the Porter Ridge High project was, as you say, was on the fiscal 18 CIP, but the Weddington track wasn't, but came up as a need because it's falling apart.
That's correct.
Okay, so, okay, and it does need to go to to our full board contingent on approval of the Board of County Commissioners. Okay.
And refresh my memory, what was the 120,000 was the original budget and what was the increase for?
Oh, okay, so the scope of work, the scope of work was originally resurfacing, but it needed much more work than that.
But we also added Weddington to
Yeah, I
it.
remember that.
It wasn't there.
I
Okay.
remember one of them had drainage issues. and
Yes.
things like that.
Yeah, so,
Weddington's is more than Porter Ridge's because of the drainage issues that you're
Okay.
talking about. Yep.
and we're essentially rebuilding the track at Porter Ridge, as opposed to just resurfacing it.
Okay, thank you.
So I need a motion to recommend the approval of these projects and the transfer of the funds as set up above, and request it for approval for the full board contingent upon the approval of the county commissioners.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. And we need to get this to the county commissioners for their April 15th meeting?
We're ready to do it tomorrow.
Okay, awesome, thank you. Next. Sports, Marketing, and Media Services Agreement, Mr. Burnett.
Yes, this is an agreement between National Amateur Sports, known as NAS. They're located in Charlotte, and UCPS Athletics. There is a contract currently in place. It's year 2 out of 3 with NAS. This agreement would replace that contract. This agreement adds live streaming of games, which is a major difference with the current contract.
Is that high school and middle school, or just high school?
It's just high school.
High school, that's what I thought, okay.
And the term of this agreement would be 5 years instead of 3 years that it is currently. The 5 years coincides with most 5-year plans for streaming platform partners. I can go into more detail if you want, but there's a lot of information here, and so I'll skip down to the recommendation. And
Our cost is just the $36,000 a year, or, yeah,
that is the annual fee. Yes.
is that the only cost of this?
Right, we've paid an initial setup fee. That was in year 1 of the 3-year agreement. And as Dave said, this is just adding the 2 components with the potential to live stream. The hope is that we can find a partner to help us do some of that.
And we're working on that now?
We are.
Okay.
How much revenue do we generate off this?
Well, that's yet to be seen, but certainly there's much more opportunity for sponsorships and advertisements.
So we've generated enough to pay the first year activations fee. But this is another step in getting us to where we can get some revenue back to the schools. We're currently covering our costs, but we won't increase that and give back some to the school.
So is that the idea with the 50-50 sharing split,
Right.
is to give it back to the schools evenly, equally across?
So it goes in the pool and it goes back evenly? Okay.
All high schools?
Correct.
Okay.
Will it be shared evenly among the high schools, or?
So our initial discussions have been that model. We think that's the fairest thing to do.
I think it
I
is
agree.
too. I agree.
I agree. Okay.
Pending legal review, is there still a lot left to do?
There's some legal issues that we went through the contract.
Sorry.
There's some legal issues that we need to review, not necessarily the contract per se, but some kind of bigger, just engaging in the process legal issues.
Do we think we can get them done in the next couple of weeks?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Okay.
One more question. What's the time and material cost on page 10.
So I had that question too. That's anything over and above, what would be in the contract. So if we get a partner to do the streaming, they would cover all of the installation, the time and material. I think it was $75 an hour. That would be anything additional that we wanted to do with the product or other products. They put that in there as a placeholder. He said that because I asked the same question, no one has ever actually used that clause, but it could come up. So we felt like we should have it in there in case we needed to use it.
But we're searching for a partner who's going to install it all for us.
It would be turnkey.
Okay. If there's no more questions, I need a motion to recommend to the Board of Education the approval of the sports marketing and media service agreement with NAS for a 5-year term pending legal review for tonight's agenda.
Motion to send to the full board for approval.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. The next is the CIP.
Okay, since we last met on the CIP, there have been 2 proposed changes. Total, that's a reduction of $1 million. So the first item was the facilities, Bethune Street item, which was $1 million, and that would be reduced to $380,000. The way we saw that would be that it would cover phase 1 for design and due diligence for repurposing Venus Street after the transportation department moves into its new facility. And then the following CIP year would be phase 2 and would be covering the construction costs. The other item was, the other reduction was South Providence, and it was reducing it eliminating the item, pushing it to the future year. That'd be $380,000, and that was for replacement flooring at $225,000, and the tie-in of roof leaders at $155,000, and they'd be moved to a future year. Overall, that CIP is reduced from $17,228,874 down to $16,228,874.
So this would go to the full board for discussion with regarding the budget, but not for approval tonight.
Right. Because it's part of the.
It's part of this budget. Okay. So does anyone have any questions? Reducing this by $1 million. Okay. Okay. Then I need a motion to recommend this to the full board for the budget process, this change.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
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 Okay. Next is Wesley Chapel Roundabout.
This item is for information, just really to bring you up to date. If you're familiar with this at all, you may not be. But in front of Wesley Chapel Elementary School, we have Highway 84 and Potter Road. NCDOT has a funded project where they're doing improvements to that intersection in the form of turn lanes. They are considering seeking additional funding for the development of a roundabout at this intersection in lieu of the turn lanes. They did provide a sketch, which I did provide in the information. And one of the things that they specifically asked us is that it's slightly asymmetric. It's a little bit off center. And that the reason for that is that it would be more cost effective as they would be able to, the utilities would be less impacted. So they were asking us if we had any plans for that area of the campus. And really that area of the campus, we couldn't develop that. It would be taken up by future road widening, or it's just not in an area that we would develop. So we don't have any plans for that area of the campus. Also, really in response to seeing that proposal and hearing about the turn lanes, I kind of volunteered a concept to them just to see what their response would be. That's also attached. So just letting you all see it and hear and just know about it. So that is an idea of, it probably would be better if our driveway was relocated, and out of that area of the intersection. And it's gotten favorable response, but the question, of course, is, who would pay for it? Of course, we would think that other people would pay for it because our intersection has been there for a long time, and that we didn't create the issues that we're experiencing. But that's a discussion for another day. Just wanted to make you aware that sketch is out there.
I have a quick question. Shifting the playground and the basketball court, that's not inexpensive, and the road out to Chamwood, would that be things that DOT would pay for?
Well, it's, and there's no DOT right now. Even if they like the idea, you can't say that they would pay for it. And they aren't saying that they would pay for it. That's just something that, again, is very preliminary. But I put
Something
it
that
out
can
there.
be discussed, though.
Right. I put it out there so that, because I see it as an impact. And again, they would, we would try not to have to pay for it because we didn't cause the situation to begin with.
Kevin Holder takes his life into his hands every single morning on Weddington Road in the dark with traffic on Weddington Road, and people coming left out of Wesley Chapel. Now those bushes are gone now, which is a big help from a sight line, but it's not easy to get out of Wesley Chapel onto Weddington Road, and Kevin does a great job, but it's a lot.
Yeah, again, where we can.
And this way, the parents would be going out onto Chamwood, could go right on Chamwood up to Newtown, could go left on Chamwood to either way on Potter. So it wouldn't be anywhere near the issues that we currently have.
And the one thing that I just also want to caution is I did that overlay on top of DOT's concept sketch. I don't want anyone to be confused and think that DOT did that. So this is not.
The first one is the DOT, right?
Correct.
And the second one is Dave.
Yeah, and what I've done since then is I have a version of this where I've blocked all that out, so people wouldn't think that it necessarily was a concept from DOT. If anyone wants it, I can share that with them.
Any other questions?
Is it certain that they're going to do this?
No.
Okay.
Right
It's,
now, no.
yeah, as far as the turn lane project, they have funding for that. They're asking for additional funding to pursue the roundabout. No guarantee that they will get additional funding.
So they would need our approval, or they would be seeking our approval to take that front corner?
As you know, with NCDOT, they don't actually have to have our
Right.
approval, but they did ask if that was something that would negatively impact us. I don't see that it negatively impacts us. And
But-
before I responded, I wanted to make this committee aware of it and see if you had
The
supported
reason I
that.
ask is because of your recommendation on the last page. I assume that you're saying that you would negotiate on our behalf, that if they do move forward with this plan, that you would request that this be done, and we would make that request.
Certainly can, yes.
So what's there right now is turn lanes, and that's funded, right? And that's supposed to be next year, right?
I believe it is next year, but I'd have to read my notes on that.
I think it's next year. So when would it happen that they would change it from turn lanes to
Well, if it did
roundabout?
change, certainly that's a whole new design process.
Because they wouldn't go ahead with the lanes if they're going to do a roundabout, right?
I wouldn't think so.
Okay, I wouldn't think so either, but I'm just, yeah.
I can't speak, like, I can't answer that question, but I would expect that if it did get funded as a roundabout, that probably would increase the time because they would redesign it.
So, and those people
That's a guess.
who are in that area, if you go down, so if you're holding the picture like this, with the thing on top, right here is going to be another roundabout, which has already been funded at the intersections of Potter and, no, it's further than that, right?
It's
Wrong way,
Potter.
sorry, wrong way.
I can't see which way you're going.
Okay, if the school's on the top right,
Mhm.
go down Wesley Chapel Road, and right below this picture is a road that you can only turn left off of from here, and it's Potter Road that takes you towards Stallings and Indian Trail. And there will be another roundabout there that's got to be, what,
It's a
300 feet from this intersection? 300 feet, maybe a little bit more.
I would,
Is it 500, 600?
I
Okay.
would guess.
And that one's been funded. That roundabout down here has already been funded. But in Marvin, on Newtown, they have roundabouts that close together. Really? On Newtown Road?
Farther too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and
And then there's another one, right, at Gold Mine and Wesley Chapel Road. So there'd be 3 stacked up.
Okay.
But the one that only has a T, what I was talking about, the Potter and Wesley Chapel Road one, there's so many accidents there every day because it's a stop sign for the Potter that comes into Wesley Chapel Road, and those kids try to make the left turn, and it's really taking your life into your own hands.
it's a challenging area.
It's very challenging.
So unless I hear anything different, we were going to continue with DOT and tell them we didn't have an issue with an asymmetrical alignment of the roundabout.
But then advocate for
Well, I've
their,
already been doing that, yes, but again, wanted to make everyone aware.
okay.
And again, make sure that there was support for that.
And is Wesley Chapel, is it on sewer?
Yes.
Okay. I believe those lines run back through there, don't they?
I don't know that there's well, very well could be, and that would be a design consideration where we would, of course, through surveys and everything like that, would identify.
Okay.
And that was it for that item.
We're done. Okay, so that was just an information. Our next meeting is, that's everything unless anybody has anything. Our next meeting is scheduled for April 17th at 8:30 a.m. at the PDC. Okay? And I think that's it. I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.